All right, I've got to weigh in quickly on a new development, a new wrinkle. I talked a week or so ago about Ice Cube refusing the Baj, refusing a $9 million deal for a movie because it was stipulated that he would have to get Bajed if he were to do it. And he said, no way. He said, oh, hell no, and that was the name of the movie that he was going to be a part of. And that was exciting because it was somebody who was semi-high profile. I know he's not like a big number one, like ultra star right now, but he's somebody who's got some cred. He's somebody, who, even though he's not, as hot, he's not at the peak of his career, he's still a recognizable name, and he's saying no way to the program. I thought that was a good sign. Well, you may have heard by now about Aaron Rodgers, and if you haven't, and you don't know who that is because you don't follow sports ball and you're contemptuous of sports ball, and you think people who follow sports ball are just NPC morons invariably. Well, Aaron Rodgers is a bona fide superstar. He is a quarterback. I think last year he was the MVP of the league, even though his team, the Green Bay Packers, didn't make it all the way, and there was some disappointment about that. But I would say next to Tom Brady, who even non-sports ballers know about that guy, and people who have the misfortune of being Atlanta fans know him all too well for what he did in the Super Bowl against the Falcons a few years ago. Well, I would say that Aaron Rodgers is a close second, if he's even a second at all. he's probably neck and neck with Brady as far as superstar status, as far as accomplishments go. Brady's got all the rings, of course. Aaron Rodgers has only got one of them. But just in being a great quarterback, a very recognizable name, somebody who's turns up in a bunch of commercials and stuff. He's a bankable kind of personality. And now he has really gone full force against the program, like big time, pedal to the metal against the program. And it's only been revealed in the last week, because in the last week he got this diagnosis, testing positive on what everybody calls the COVID test, but it's not a COVID test at all. But I won't get into that right now. Won't get into whether what's real and what isn't. It's ultimately not important. As I said in my interview with Tim Kelly, and of course some grumpy pants in the comment section got mad at me because thought I was being a pussy for not just sticking my neck out and saying it's not real. Because I don't know what's real and what isn't, and all I know is that things don't add up. If it's real, it's not this menace that they try to promote it as being. And even if it is real, the response to it is way out of proportion to the virulence and the severity of the so-called virus. And if it's real, again, maybe they've isolated it, maybe they haven't. It's strange that there's not a test that just tests for it. But anyway, that's a side road. Of course, people are always going to be on your case. People are always going to be mad at you. Even even somebody generally as obscure as me still has, with a relatively small audience, I still have people clapping back at me for all kinds of silly things, or what I estimate to be silly things, and that was one of them. But anyway, things have all spilled out in the last couple of days, and Aaron Rodgers has gone from being this general media darling, somebody that they hold up as this superstar who's generally personable, although he's apparently got a prickly side to him as well. But he's somebody who auditioned to be the new star of Jeopardy, the new host of Jeopardy, which is pretty strange. And he's in all kinds of corporate commercials where he kind of does this lighthearted, plays himself in a lighthearted way, State Farm and others like that. And now they're all dropping him left and right. Now all of a sudden he is the number one enemy of the dogs of the Lügenpresse. They are taking turns just hysterically going after him. And again, I am struck by just how contemptible the press is, just how low and how uninterested in truth, and how totally bought off the press truly is. Just to see them do this 180 all of a sudden, because Aaron Rodgers has come out swinging. He's come out swinging. He gave an interview, which I will link to here, which has over 1 million views, where he says he questions the narrative in many, many, many ways. Of course, what the press is trying to make hay out of is that he was asked if he was vaccinated, and he said that he was what's the word? There's a different word that he used. I can't think of it right now, but it was an answer that he gave because, as he explains in this interview, he opted not to take the Baj for his own health reasons, and he didn't think he had to explain that to anybody. He was saying in this interview, and I agree with him, that personal health is not a one size fits all kind of scenario. We can make different decisions based on who we are and what the facts of our case are, and obviously that's not what our cultural commissars are forcing upon us right now. The paradigm that they are pushing for with these mandates is obviously we had the carrot for a little while. Oh, get the Baj and we'll give you free donuts. And then we got the stick, get the Baj or else you're going to get fired. And Aaron Rodgers just doesn't see eye to eye with all of that. And he knows, he in this interview, he also talks about how, this effort to strong arm people, this effort to shame reluctant people, to pressure them or to make them feel like social lepers, if they don't get it. He's a smart guy. And of course, he's got all of these people, all of these bought and sold people, these contemptible people, just going after him rabidly right now. And it's just a sight to behold. And it's really kind of breathtaking the rapidity with which the switch has taken place. Because again, until just recently, he's photogenic, telegenic, personable, media darling guy, and superstar quarterback guy. But now he's he's like what Joe Rogan was a couple weeks ago, or what Nicki Minaj was, 3 weeks ago. Or it's always somebody new that they're suddenly, that they unleash the attack dogs against them, and it's like it's been the same damn story, like ever since 2016 or so. I remember there was a time when I would look up alt-right. I would type in alt-right into a search engine and think, this is interesting. What are they saying about alt-right now? Because I wrote for the and edited the journal AlternativeRight.com before alt-right, before alternative right and alt-right became these kinds of bywords for everything that is hateful and contemptible, and everything that is Nazi-esque. When alternative right just meant an alternative to the mainstream right, which is what it represented in the early days. But anyway, in the early days of the Alternative Right Journal, from 2010 through about 2014. But I remember around 2016 or so, you just typing in alt-right and just seeing screed after screed after screed, people who are not intellectually honest, who had no interest in being intellectually honest, and who were shrill and one-sided, and who were just, again, screaming in your ears about how hateful and terrible you were, unless you were with them 100%. And it hasn't let up. There's been no let up. It's just a question of whose name you pop in to the search engine at a given time, whose name or what a series of words you pop into that search engine. You type in Aaron Rodgers right now, and you have like 16, 17, 18 stories in a row just treating the guy as if he were just, I don't know, worthy of being taken before a death squad. I mean, just an absolutely contemptible person, an going on a tirade, an anti-vaxxer, fanatic, all these things they're saying about him. You watch this interview with him, and it's absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. But it doesn't stop them from saying what they're saying, of course. And but this is interesting, because Aaron Rodgers is not somebody that they can just cut and run from. He is a superstar. He is, a really, he's maybe, he may be past his prime as an athlete in his career, but he's still really, really good. And his team is a contending team. So it's not like the NFL can just say, well, goodbye, Aaron Rodgers, you're no longer welcome here. He's got leverage because he's so good, and because he's got such a history of bringing them ratings. And again, you can't just turn that all off, right? So he's going to be back, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with once he puts his uniform back on. It'll be really interesting to see where things go from here. I'm my second home. All my relatives are from hail from Wisconsin, so the Packers were always like the team that my family all rooted for. Cheeseheads up in Wisconsin. And now I'm suddenly a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if the team is waiting to stab him in the back right now. I don't trust anyone who represents any who has any kind of visibility out there right now. They're sharpening their knives, probably. The team is, the league is, they're a bunch of jackals. But this guy has shown he's got cojones, he's got integrity. Whatever. I'm not saying he's a perfect person. I'm not glorifying him in every way, but on this subject, he has shown himself to be somebody who's just, I don't know, maybe he's just had enough. Maybe he's just decided, screw it. I'm gonna say what I feel like saying. He again, to go back to what I was talking about before, the media, somebody from the media asked him, what his status was, and he said he didn't say that he was vaccinated, but he used some other word that suggested that he used some other word that I can't remember right now. And again, it'll come to me as soon as this video is over. But watch the interview with him. Watch this interview. Watch him speak for himself. Watch him defend himself. Watch him question so many aspects of this narrative. It's pretty amazing. So, it's something I'm watching with a lot of interest, and I'm watching with a lot of admiration, but I've also kind of, I know they're sharpening their knives. I'm afraid of what they're going to try to do to the guy. I really, really am. So, he's in my prayers. He should be in your prayers. I know if you're not a sports baller, if you think, oh, he's just a millionaire athlete, who cares about him? And a lot of times I would agree, we shouldn't fixate on these people who are, so visible. But I think he's for real. And I think, Aaron Rodgers and his, the stand that he's making is something that, this is as high profile as it's gotten so far. So it's something definitely to be noted. So I encourage you to watch the video that I'm going to link to below. And you can see him tell his whole story and talk about where he stands and so forth. But it'll definitely be interesting to see this play out. I have no predictions about what's going to happen from here on in, but I do think, I think this guy's going to stand his ground, because I think he's just gotten to the point. My impression is that he just doesn't give a shit anymore. He's put in the time. He's been in the league for X number of years. He's got the stats down. He's got the cred, and he's gonna stand where he's gonna stand. He's going to just. I don't see him bending the knee. So what worries me is what they're going to try to do to him now. But then again, what can they do? He's a superstar. He's a big part of what makes the league, to the extent that people watch professional sports anymore, to the extent that they're not alienated from professional sports figures anymore with all of the virtue signaling antics of both the league and of so many athletes in the league. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So let me know what you think below. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. My latest book, The Insurrectionist, can be purchased at terrorhousepress.com. Thanks for watching.